Hi, my name is Jean-Pierre, and sometimes I wonder, have you ever been summoned into someone else's drama with like a 2-minute warning and the script you didn't audition for? Like, bro, I'm going to call you in like 5 minutes. Just say this and that. That's all you have to say, okay? You got this. You ever get one of those calls? No, just me? Alright, I'll own it. I'll own my friends too. The last time it happened, I read the lines like I was gunning for an Oscar or something. My friend called later on to say thanks for my performance. We joked around. I even joked and said, one day I will rat you out. But he knows I never will ever rat him out for some reason. Some friendships, I guess, don't need daily check-ins. They're the low maintenance, high loyalty kind. The kind that sit in silence for years then pick up like no time has passed. But even those friendships come with limits, I guess. Because sometimes no matter how much you love someone, you simply cannot help. Or worse, you can, but maybe you're not supposed to. And that's where it gets painful. Welcome. If this is your first time here, you found a strange little sanctuary where we mix awkward humor with uncomfortable truths, where vulnerability is currency and healing is expected. Grab your drink of choice, coffee, wine, tea, laced with prayers. This is a soft place for your hard questions. If you're a returning legend, welcome back. You're not just a listener, you're part of the narrative now. Whether you're in traffic, mid-scroll, or spiraling, I'm just honored that you're here with me. Now, where was I? Yes, I was talking about the emotional suffering that sits at the intersection of love, responsibility, and helplessness. The thin line between tough love and enabling. Obviously, as humans, we were inherently created with the urge to help others whenever we can. And nothing beats the feeling of someone we love coming through for us, or vice versa. However, life sometimes orchestrates situations that enable neither of the two. It hurts to be in a situation where you want to help someone but you are unable to. It strikes at your core, especially for men raised or wired to believe that worth is found in fixing and resolving things. And when moments arise where we cannot provide a solution, we don't just feel ineffective, we feel erased. This brings me back to a certain situation a few years ago. I was in hospital, in excruciating pain. My mother and my sister were on their way to the hospital, but my dad was right there in the thick of things with me. I make mention of this because it is very crucial in understanding the components of my support system in the story. My mother is like my overall nurturer. She just knows what to do. She just knows what to say. She just knows her stuff. I mean, mothers, right? My sister's like my mouthpiece when I'm not feeling well. She also just knows what to do. She just knows what I need and somehow just taps into my brain and communicates all these things to everyone else on my behalf. Now, my dad and my brothers are like my muscle. Obviously my financial muscle, but also physical muscle in case some people need to be shoved around in order to get things done. You know, nothing malicious. Now, here's the thing about my dad and also my brothers. We don't do a lot of the emotional stuff well. When I'm at my lowest, my dad does this thing which works pretty well sometimes. He never really acknowledges my pain in my presence, which most of the times makes me feel like, hey, it's not so bad. Like when I'm in hospital, my dad usually walks into the room. He will not ask me how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how bad the pain is, none of that. He just treats me like I'm fine. He brings up stuff that obviously takes my mind off what's happening in the room. He starts talking about us making plans, what we have to do, the places I have to drive him to. We cover about everything but the elephant in the room. Now, imagine a scene without my mom and my sister in the equation, and the air is emotionally charged, high intensity. I'm shouting, I'm barking at the nurses. They're terrified, but still so very rude. My dad is clueless. He's calling my mom on his phone. My dad is result or solution orientated. The in-betweens, the finer details, he doesn't really care for that. And as I was screaming and wailing, I could tell it started to get to him. And so in his desperation to help, he just said to me, just tell me what I can do to take this pain away. In his eyes, in that moment, I saw fury. Not at me, not even at the very unhelpful and extremely rude nurse, but I think it was at his own inability to heal me in that moment. And in my mind, I knew if I told this man to stab that nurse with a needle 6 times for me, he would have done it, no hesitation. Yes, I was very specific. That was very calculated. 6 times, that's all I needed. I thought about it over and over. I just never actually said it. Now, eventually my mom came with my sister, and obviously my mom came straight to me, and in obvious mommy's boy energy, I snitched on the nurse. Should have seen my mom and my sister go after that nurse. Time passed, I got better. Eventually the emotions resided. I managed to have a conversation with that nurse. I did apologize for my behavior and all that I did and said when I was in pain. Everything was cool and life surely goes on. This with the story I told earlier about the phone call. It all could be the danger of love without boundaries or clarity sometimes. That I can be in pain and mentally unstable but use the relationships I have with those that love me to make a point out of spite. That could be the danger of love without boundaries. That I can get on a call and say things I have no clue out of love for my friend as long as it alleviates whatever situation he found himself in. That could really be the danger of love without boundaries and clarity sometimes, that my father would do anything to get me out of pain as long as I just told him what to do. This is also why I think I'm not much into movies or series anymore. Like, am I the only one who has never finished watching a certain movie or entirely quits watching a series because a certain character you love is going through it and it just gets to you and you're like, I'm done, I can't watch this any longer? Because you really can't do anything about it. No, it's just me. Okay. I remember one Easter period, right? I was watching The Passion of the Christ. I usually watch The Passion of the Christ every year. And I got to that point again. Like, I had enough. And I was like, God, just do something. Strike all these gods and all these people mocking him. Just strike them dead already. So I stopped the movie, carried on with my life. Later, I was calm. I decided to finish it. It happens every year like that. But this time, before I even pressed play, a rather unsolicited thought ran through my mind. Like, if God had stopped it all before the crucifixion, then what would have happened to the rest of us? Because surely there are consequences to abundant crosses and aborted pain. Sure, there's a kind of spiritual violence in watching someone you love suffer and having nothing to offer. And even if you do have something to offer, how involved should you be in the process of someone else's becoming? I guess sometimes we have to learn to sit in the violence and the inward turmoil of watching someone we love go through it and having nothing to offer but presence. And even that feels insufficient sometimes, but here's the irony. Sometimes presence is the miracle. And maybe love isn't about interference all the time. Maybe love is about alignment. We may feel that we want to help, that we definitely need to help, but often I figured that what we want to do isn't the thing that would actually help. Like when you can't go John Wick on your siblings' enemies, when you can't pay off someone else's debt, when you can't take away someone's diagnosis, sometimes you feel useless. But presence is not useless. Conscious love is never wasted. Struggle is a curriculum, if you ask me. It teaches. Every time you rescue someone, I guess, there's also a possibility that you risk interrupting their lesson. You don't pull a butterfly from its cocoon, even though your intention is right, because if you do, it will never fly. Now, I think that love at its highest form liberates. It doesn't bind. So it's about learning to support without saving, to encourage without enabling, and to guide without controlling. Sometimes love is saying, I believe in your power more than I believe in your pain. Sometimes love doesn't have to be loud. It has to whisper. You whisper, I'm here, but I will not interrupt your becoming. Your presence surely matters, even if you don't have the money, even if you don't have the quick fix, even if you're just holding their hand while they cry. Your presence can be the only thing that interrupts their despair. And I urge you to sort of learn to draw that fine line. And as you were listening to this, if you're thinking of someone who might enjoy this episode, please share it with them. and let them know you're thinking of them. Go on and make their day. It's on me.